Welcome to another edition of Lean Bites, a bite-sized demonstration of a lean topic. Thanks for joining me today. My name is Paul Dean, and today's edition of Lean Bites, we're going to look at this tool called a one-point lesson. Now, sometimes called a single-point lesson in TPM. I've used this particular tool over a number of years, and I'm going to share with you some simple but I think valuable tips that'll help you in using a one-point lesson and getting the maximum benefit out of it. Now, a one-point lesson is a single piece of information located at the Gemba, which is highly visual and very, very simple. It's derived from the standard operating procedure or a work instruction where we specifically want to call out a piece of information, or we want to highlight and put a temporary focus on a particular piece of information for a particular outcome. Placed on a single page using photos and very few words, it also mirrors the work instruction admin qualities because it has some titles, it has a document control, it even has reference to the source document. And above all, avoid making it too busy. Remember, it's one point piece of information. Now, these are my 5 tips to get the best out of a one-point lesson that I've developed over many years of experience. Tip number 1 is display the one-point lesson at the workstation to communicate the message where it's needed the most to the people that need it the most. 24/7, it remains front of mind. Display it for a season. To avoid the one-point lesson becoming wallpaper is display the one-point lesson for a season. Remember, it's a temporary focus of the information. The third one is maybe the recipients or the users can sign off that they've received and understood the one-point lesson. Tip number 4 is if the one-point lesson is an outcome from a problem-solving activity like an A3 or a fishbone, and perhaps the solution was to communicate the new way of working, this could be really done by a one-point lesson. And tip number 5, in communicating a change in a standard operating procedure or a work instruction, rather than going through the whole document, you can use a one-point lesson to communicate very simply the change. So just in recapping, a one-point lesson is a single piece of information that's communicated where the message is needed the most at the Gemba to the people that need it the most. Highly visual and simple by one page, a photo, very few words, that's going to communicate a change in a standard operating procedure or a work instruction. I hope this has been very helpful, and thank you for joining me on this edition of Lean Bites.